The content discussed in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial or mortgage advice. Always consult with a licensed professional before making any decisions regarding mortgages or financial matters.
Welcome to the Canadian Mortgage Show. Here are mortgage professionals Alex Pang and Alex Shanks to cut through the BS and educate Canadians on all things mortgages and real estate.
The idea of us growing up was everyone was being pushed towards going to university because it was seen as an elitist kind of thing, and it was kind of frowned upon to go into trades. It seems like you were kind of the lowest of the lows.
The school doesn't really teach you how to become a better person, but school does teach you how to actually solve problems more efficiently. People who actually had the education would be able to actually solve problems more efficiently.
Welcome to another episode of the Canadian Mortgage Show. This is episode 49. Alex Pang here, alongside my co-host Alex. Alex, we have a special guest today. We have Andrew Huang from the Fairlands Group. He's a home builder operating out of the Greater Vancouver. I've actually known Andrew since high school. We went to high school together, and I believe we graduated together, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
You know, funny story. We didn't reconnect until about 8 years ago. Like I'm already well into this industry, and I found out he was a builder. So kept his contact, and here we are. He's been in the construction industry for the last 20 years. So glad to bring him on. We've been looking for a builder, and we found Andrew. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Andrew. Excited to chat with you about some building stuff. I hope we can maybe pull some stories out from you, especially we know in the Vancouver area right now, there's some developers, they're doing some struggles, and it's I'm excited to talk with you here.
Thanks for having me.
So Andrew, let's go back into the beginning. You know, the whole precipice of this. What got you into the industry as a builder? Because most people, when they go to school, you know, they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer, they want to be an engineer. Oftentimes, a builder is not top of the list. What made you get into this industry?
Well, my dad used to be a general contractor back in Taiwan. We came here in '92, and that's where I actually met Alex. When he was actually in Taiwan doing his general contracting, he had an architect came by every night to talk about site progress and discuss the future this week's look ahead or for the month. And I got intrigued and always finding excuses to go by the studies so that I could actually listen into what they say. And came here, did the high school, did the university, did the a little bit of renovation with my dad and all that kind of stuff. Thought that yeah, this is something what I wanted to do. So I started working for ITC. Actually, I should say, I started working for a concrete forming contractor, and then got into ITC as a general contractor. And then went to Townline, where I actually get all the commercial, residential construction experience. Then a buddy of mine introduced a homeowner to me and said, "Can you build my house?" And that's how I actually got into the residential builder side of the business.
When was that when was the first house then, Andrew? When was that you built?
The first house, I would say 2012. 2011 maybe.
Yeah, and that's like, how has it been? Like, so I built my first house 2016, you know, when like the BC came out with the new like home warranty stuff. Like how has that been for you? Like, is that a bit frustrating, like as you're like building the homes? Is that something to deal with?
Actually no, the new home warranty has always been there. It's the requirement to become a builder is actually a little bit more stringent. That's to me, it doesn't really matter to me, because I got my license long before that, long before they actually changed the regulation. But having said that, to me it doesn't really matter to me, because we still have to actually do education credits, like the CPDs, and those are actually better education to ourselves to get us more up to date with the regulations and codes and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, that's where the ones that I've heard is the people that like they never got registered back in the day, and so like there's always been people contractors that built homes but just been kind of doing it. It was more of like a self build and owner build, but it was never
Yep.
required to have that home warranty. And then they delayed it so long for them to go and get it now. It is like a pain in the ass.
It's a little bit more I wouldn't say troublesome, but a little bit more time consuming.
Yeah, and that's what
In
and that's the usually the people that are doing it. Obviously, like usually, like they're still hands on, especially where I am. Like they're still doing the work, so they don't even have the time to go and get that stuff done. But it was
Yeah, well, a buddy of mine is like that
yeah,
too. He's been building homes, and he actually put off the getting the license. And 2014 is actually when the regulation actually started changing, and he was like, "Oh well, I was too busy," and then now he
yeah,
regrets because he doesn't have his license,
yeah. That's a
right? And
it's yeah. We were
now how he's basically working for people.
yeah. That's we were one of the first people on the island to do like the self build. I was actually talking to some
Hmm.
people today that getting construction financing, it's not like a straight and forward thing. And I was just explaining to them, like when I did it, when I first was going, there was going to be 6 lending options. When the regulation came in, there ended up only being one. A lot of the lenders backed out of it, and lenders don't. The construction financing is the easiest way for people to launder money. That's the easiest way for funds to flow in, and so banks are very stringent, and so they actually don't like self builds because it's like, well, I could say, hey, this is going to cost me an extra 50,000. Well, it actually didn't, but I was able to pull that money out, and so people get frustrated.
Well, that to me, I think getting some money out of the construction loan
Yep.
for your personal benefits, you're ending up paying for it.
Exactly. You're paying for it somewhere, but like it was mainly like people bringing not good money, and they would buy land and they would build, and then that's how they could run money through it. And just that's the banks is
Hmm.
they're anti money laundering. It's really intense, and so like even if someone's going to do a self build, and let's say I'm going to do all the framing myself, you still have to get a third
Mm.
party quote to match what you're going to do it for, even if you're not going to use that person. It's a really silly thing, but the banks need to match up and say, hey, yes, you're not inflating this cost. It's going to be 20,000, and that's also what another builder would do it for.
Yep, pretty much, pretty much. Yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of lenders as well, and as soon as they see that the my clients actually got a licensed
Yeah.
builder who has been in business for a long while, and they're like, oh, yep, no problem.
Easy, yeah.
There's
What do you use? That's the difference. When I tell someone, say, hey, yeah, you could do the self build, but this is the amount of work you're going to have to do. If you go with a builder, it's super easy. You don't have to get these quotes.
yes, exactly. So,
Yeah.
So, Andrew, you mentioned earlier that your dad was a general contractor. Is he like I'm pretty sure he's retired now, but at some point did he help you launch the building business? Like did you guys work
nope.
together along the way?
Nope. Well, actually, when I was in high school and college, he actually took me to do some of his renovation business, but that's about it. He never got into building houses. He never really got started in his business.
Wow. Would you say like I don't know if you did any projects in Taiwan. Did he work here at all as a general contractor at all? Like do you know what the standards are between Taiwan and here in terms of building?
No, I don't. He probably didn't because majority of his work were all cosmetic, meaning retile, meaning repaint, um, maybe patch up drywall, and that's about it.
I see. What types of homes do you build, Andrew? Like, you know, do you do big, small? Like, what things do you
a
build?
large variety actually. I started as a like I was saying, working for a general contractor like ITC, like Town Line, and I was actually managing projects for concrete towers. I was managing retirement homes, new builds. I was managing townhouses, pretty much all you name it in the commercial side. Then got into residential. I started building houses from the Vancouver special lots to lots as big as 1 acre, houses as big as 20,000 square feet houses. Now I'm actually building a townhouse complex. I'm actually also helping managing a condo construction for a developer. Dealing with subtrades, and yeah, pretty much name you probably could think everything you under the sun.
And that's like, so Andrew, like for the condo one, is that like, is the developer coming to you because it's like, hey, we need someone to actually manage this, manage all the sub trades? Is that why they've kind of?
Well, this project I'm on right now, they are severely delayed. Now it's actually going on to 3 year and plus now.
Yep.
And he came to me about a year ago and said, I need help. I'm like, okay, what do you need help with? And he's like, well, we're already in 2 years in construction, and so far we haven't really finished the whole building envelope, which is the exterior, and we're struggling. So I'm like, okay, well, I can come and help, but you already got your people.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we're looking to start the interior finishing, so why don't you start as a finishing super? Okay, to me, it doesn't really matter to me, but at that time I was like, I'm actually I'm busy as well, so maybe I'll just do part-time.
Yeah.
Then I was actually done with my project, and they're like, oh, are you done with your projects, and can you start full-time now? And so that's how I actually became full-time with them.
No. And then so are you still at the moment, like, how many, like, when you do, do you mainly do like custom homes, Andrew, then? Like, let's say if I'm a homeowner, I'm like, hey, I want you to build this home. Is that kind of what you like more or less specialize in?
Yes. You could actually say they are more design builds, where I could actually, or you as a homeowner come to me and said, I have this lot.
Yep.
And if what does it take for me to see the finished product?
Yeah.
And then for example, you could actually say, I want to see 3 bedrooms with ensuites on second floor, and then I'll be telling you whether if it's possible or what we could do and that kind of stuff.
And then so like,
then I took you.
You work with designers then, Andrew? Like, do you help like designers and everything?
Yeah. Then I was going to say, then I take you to one of the designer then that I work with all the time, and finish the details. We submit the building application along with the new home warranty forms and all that kind of stuff. And a few months, or actually almost a year later, we get the building permit and we start building.
And is that the average time for a building permit?
Right now, yeah, it's still about especially for single houses, it's about 9 to 12 months.
That's insane.
Yeah, multiplex, they're a little bit faster, but you're still looking at about 6 to 9 months.
And let's go back, say 2016. What was like the time? Like, how long would it take to get a permit back then? Like, that
was actually longer.
Exactly, and so that's what I wanted to know. Like, I wanted to know, like, have we actually gotten faster?
Back then in Vancouver, you're looking at about at least 12 months. At least.
And what is the reason for it? Like, what is the explanation of what's taking them so long?
From what I know is that the city has always been lacking in terms of staffing.
Yep.
They obviously are short-handed. They couldn't find one for the right people. Two, they've got the because of the construction boom that we've seen before COVID. There are a lot of backlog, and plan checkers, they could only do so much in a day, right? And their job is actually not easy. They don't just look at the drawing and say, oh, this looks good, but they have to actually verify whether if you meet the regulations and whether you're building too big or your fire safety is actually not up to code. That's why.
Yeah. So Andrew, I understand you probably work all over Greater Vancouver, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you find that
build houses in
Okay.
Surrey, Port Coquitlam, Burnaby, Richmond, Vancouver? I even actually did a house and a barn in Maple Ridge.
Okay. Do you find that certain municipalities, the delay is less, like which ones are more pro business and pro building? Like which ones are faster than others?
I mean, they're all slow, honestly. The one in Maple Ridge was actually a little bit better, but that was about maybe 5 years ago
Okay.
when they were actually just starting to catch up. But nowadays, I don't even know because I haven't really been there at all yet, as of yet. So I don't know how much of a wait they are. But the staff there is actually quite new.
Not like
So they're basically checking every detail.
is the only thing that you think, Andrew, that could speed it up is like they need to hire more staff. Like that's pretty much the
Yeah, might hire more staff and well, going back to Mayor Sims, he was actually putting out more streamline in terms of permit approval process as one of his platform.
Yeah.
But when I first heard that, I'm like, well, there's no way they could actually streamline it, mainly because they, like I was saying, a lot of regulation
Yeah.
they have to actually.
Is it like every year? Like, are they just adding more? Like, I know for the fire suppression now, like if you have a suite, it has to have its own fire suppression. Where back in the day, like they obviously were just adding more of these regulations. And like, in your honest opinion, like, is it making the home safer? Is it making better? Like, do we see?
Put to give you an example, I actually built a house for one of our high school buddies, and he was actually applying for a legal suite in the basement as well.
No.
And now he's actually making full use of that legal suite by renting it out. He's got 3 young kids. And the safety regulation also includes noise transfer, and his tenants never really complained about noise.
Yeah.
But here they are random running around, that kind of stuff. But those are actually through vibration. But the actual sound transfer is actually quite minimal.
Yeah.
So in terms of that perspective, I think it's doing the society a good. But in terms of cost, it actually added more cost, right? So it's a beneficial to majority of the people, I guess. A little downside to the investors, I guess, or people who are actually looking to actually maybe not staying in the same home for a long period of time.
So you were mentioning about the process. Last year, David Eby mentioned of spec bills of these pre-approved plans that would idea is to speed up approval process. We haven't heard much of it since then. Is it actually working? And do any of your colleagues or home builders actually using the spec bills?
I honestly had high hopes on those plans, but it's a more generic plans. It doesn't really in my opinion, it doesn't really
They
fit
don't fit. That's
every property.
our other sister company, Envision Developments. They actually submitted into the application with BC Housing and everything. And yeah,
Yeah.
the designs that they went with, like, just have no, like, they don't work anywhere. Like
No,
it's just useless.
no, especially in the lower mainland landscape environment, it's definitely not going to work because of the sites might not be level, flat level,
Exactly. Yep.
right? And those are actually based on flat level lands. And if you're on a slope, you're hooped.
Yeah, I think the firm that actually won out, that got like the contracts, I think they were from like Manitoba or like Saskatchewan or something. It's like they didn't even use like designers and builders from BC. It's just like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, but like I said, I had high hopes
Yeah.
when they first came out. But as soon as I looked at the plans, I'm like, screw this.
So, sorry, we always on our pod, we always shit on the government, but I'm going to attack onto it more. So, BC also essentially rezoned the entire province to allow for multifamily. Have you seen any shift towards that building? Like, is there more building action happening?
Vancouver is actually more on the leading hands of this. They actually came up with the multiplex way before BC actually came out with what BC actually called them as a small scale multi-unit housing, as opposed to multiplex in Vancouver, and we call them short as SSMU. Those are actually more in Burnaby, Richmond, and they're in pockets. They're not citywide. But in Vancouver, it's basically citywide, except Shaughnessy, first, second, maybe even third. So it's more, I would say, more towards shows than actual benefit to the people.
Yeah, it's like we've talked about it in the previous pods where the idea is there, but we have 3 levels of government and they all need to talk to each other. Where BC wants to do this, other cities are down with it, but you hear the NIMBY cities like North Van and West Van, they don't want multifamily. They just want to keep it single detached and keep it
Vancouver West Side as well.
Yeah, West Side. They want to keep it. It's almost like the elitism, right? Yeah, we understand, but not here, not in my backyard. And I guess that's what we're facing too, is that the right hand is not talking to the left, essentially, and all the while nothing happens.
That's where I do know, like, it's definitely more fast tracked in Victoria. Like, as long as your lot and everything, as long as they have met the standards, like, you're approved. You don't have to go to the redevelopment stage or anything. Where, like, I know, like in North Van, like the municipality has not changed yet. They're like, no, you still have to go through everything else. And I mean, the government was meant to crack.
You even have to actually go through the development permit process as well.
And that's where, like, the whole point of these were to not have that. It's like, hey, you've met all your standards, you get to skip over that.
Yep. In Poco, in Coquitlam, in Burnaby, when you actually apply for small scale multi-unit housing, you still have to apply for a development permit.
Yeah.
Where in Vancouver, you also need a development permit, but you could actually apply for a development permit and building permit at the same time.
Yeah. And that's like, now we've heard that there's some talks of, like, are they going to reduce? I mean, they're not going to reduce the development charges and everything, but they're saying that they're going to delay them. They're going to allow you to push them out. And, like, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, what's your thoughts on, like, development?
Well, to large scale commercial buildings, it actually is beneficial. Developer that I know actually made it to the news about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. They asked for a deferment on their DCCs.
Yeah.
The total was about 16 mil or something like that, and instead they only need to actually pay half upfront.
Yeah.
to me, as if I'm actually the developer, as a developer, it actually takes the burden off, so that I have that extra 8 mil as a capital to actually kickstart my project.
Yeah, and that's where like they know that once it's done, they're going to be able to refinance it or get it out in a loan that way as well. And that's where
Mhm.
for the larger developers, like it totally makes sense. But if it's like someone that's doing like a small scale one, it just depends on it may not even be like worth it for them in that.
Yeah, it's well, it's to me, if I'm actually doing a multiplex, there's still quite a few bucks on DCC and that kind of stuff too.
Right.
And we're talking maybe $20,000-$30,000. But with the DCCs, if I could actually defer that much later, why not?
So Andrew,
know what
just
I
to put some history behind this, Alex and I have long been saying that you're deferring the development charge, but why don't you follow other municipalities in Ontario like Vaughan and Mississauga and lower development costs? Like, how about, because that's going to stimulate building. We all know the housing affordability issue, and governments have been too
now we're
drunk.
getting more and more into the political side of it.
Yes. Why just,
mainly-
cities, wake the F up. Lower development costs. If you want to speed up and get more homes built, don't get drunk on the money.
Yeah,
Do more volume. You'll make up on the volume.
Well,
All that's going to happen there, Alex, is your property taxes are going to go skyrocket. Like that's like they're taking money somewhere.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one way or the other. They're going to have to get some revenue out of it.
And yeah, I mean, there's this
Right? Either the property taxes of homeowners who are already who have a existing home,
Right.
or having the new development pay for partial of the upgrade charge or upgrade cost to your local libraries, local parks, local transits, right?
I mean, think of even the property transfer tax that was only meant to come in as a way to kind of like defer foreign buyers to try and deter them away. It was only meant to be a thing for a while, and then they're like, "Ooh, there's a lot of money here. Why? They're not going to stop it, and they spend their budget, and that's where for them to get rid of the DCC, like they would have to either increase costs somewhere else, or they need to fire a bunch of people."
Yeah.
Quick history lesson.
all know that.
The GST was meant to be temporary, and it was brought on when Andrew and I were in high school. And we all know that temporary taxes never go away.
The only one that there was the 8. Do you guys remember? I remember my parents talking about like HST and stuff. Like when that came in for a little bit, there was not as a tax, and then it went away. Like that's where I do remember that when I was younger, and my parents were like, "Oh, this is BS. There's another tax coming in and everything."
Yeah. So history lesson here. When my wife and we bought the house that we live in now, the premier at the time, Gordon Campbell, he snuck in HST to harmonize it like Ontario. We had to pay 12% on this new build home. And I'm like, oh my Lord. It ended up being $80,000. And you know what? We're like, you know what? We bit the bullet. We're like, you know what? Real estate will eventually go up. We made up for it eventually. And I guess political backlash, Gordon Campbell resigned because enough people, there was a huge uproar because of it. And we went back to regular separation, right? GST, PST.
Yeah, going with HST for business owners, especially those ones providing services such as myself, actually is beneficial.
That's where I remember the HST for some people was actually like really nice for them. It was easy.
Yes. Especially, let's say I'm actually building a house for you as a lump sum. The material that I bought came with GST and PST. However, I cannot recover the PST.
Yeah.
But with the HST, I could actually charge you for the same amount of tax that I got taxed on. So
the only problem is,
really classified as a loss.
Yeah. No, I understand. The only problem is there's a lot more workers than there are self-employed business owners. in the
That's true.
in the voting public. So in a world of
Yes.
democracy, the
Yes.
the democracy won in that, right?
Yep, exactly. So that's why to some business owner, they are actually benefiting from the HSD.
So Andrew, what's your take on the current, the state of the industry right now? Like
Oh,
building has kind
it's
of
a
been
mixed bag.
stalled. Yeah, building has been kind of stalled because prices, it's still too expensive, and I guess the market, we're going through a correction right now, and
Mm-hmm.
interest rates have come down from the peak, but it hasn't come down enough, and
No,
yeah,
the material cost is actually still quite high as well. Because back then, like I was saying, 4 or 5 years ago, I built a house for our high school buddy, and that bill actually was about $200 or $210 a square foot.
Yeah.
To build the exact same house now, we're looking at 300,
Yeah, that's
wow.
right? And it's the actual labor plus the material; those costs never really come down.
and that's
Okay, so
It's, it's
the reason
little
why
bit lower than
Yeah.
what it used to be. But
Okay. What's the reason why it's up to 300? Is it because labor cost, material cost, and development charge has gone up, or which would
no, it's just the labor and material.
okay. All things being
$200
equal,
per square
yeah.
foot or
Okay.
300 is actually just the labor and material to put into that new build house.
And that's and
And,
have you been seeing it, Andrew? Have you been seeing like say, I know I see it, I've heard it from some builders like on windows and like caulking and stuff, like the tariffs, like there is like the tariffs are there. Have you been seeing on some of that for like some of the materials you're buying and stuff?
Yes, yes, caulking has gone up.
Yeah,
The building rep has gone up.
Yeah.
The lumber hasn't, because the lumber in BC we're actually quite fortunate.
Yeah.
We consume what we produce.
But that's like, so we had a massive run. When was that? Like 2021, 22, when lumber, like a OSB piece of plywood was like $115 or something. Like there was videos going
I
like
went through that. I went through that
in the truck.
Yeah, I went through that.
Yeah.
I was my heart were bleeding when I picked up lumbers and something like that. So yeah, I know, but it actually come down quite a bit. However, the labor cost actually still is quite high, mainly because of labor shortage.
Is that just people are like, I mean, have like other laborers just saying, hey, I'm not doing this for $20 an hour. I want 25 now. Like they've kind of like agreed, like, hey, we're not working for lower price.
I remember 4 or 5 years ago, I could actually put up an ad for 15 or $20 an hour, and I get quality people who are willing to put up the sweats and work for it. But nowadays, oh, my back hurts. Oh, I gotta do this. I have appointments. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, do you think it's a symptom of our TikTok generation where they just want instant gratification and, like you got to make it worth my while kind of thing?
Maybe that too. Maybe because they had it too easy. And maybe they think the minimum wage has gone up to what, 17 now, 17 something now,
$18, yeah, almost 18.
and
Yeah.
the $20 is actually not much better than 17, because back 4 or 5 years ago, the minimum wage was what, 12, 13, or 14.
Yep.
And it's actually at a premium to be paid 20, so everybody worked for their money.
And that's like,
Right.
you find a difference. Let's say if you put an ad out now, is that paying someone say $25 compared to say $35? Is there's a difference? Like, hey, that $35 guy, he's going to work harder and better, or is it still kind of like in the middle of like you don't know who you're going to get?
It's a mixed bag. Even paying somebody higher, you might not get the level of competency you expect.
Yeah.
Right? Mainly because you don't know what they can do and what they cannot do. For example, the assistant super I have right now, I actually hired him, but he was actually he started as a temporary worker from all those temporary labor agencies.
Yeah.
Okay, and he had the right mindset that he wants to help. He wants to make sure everybody or the task that was given to him was done in the timely manner and correct. Right, and then he started showing the initiative that he could lead people and all that kind of stuff. And then we decided to hire him because I need help. Right, so that's but mind you, he's what, 27, 28. So he's not like us, or not at least not like you, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm not, I get to be the young buck in this but yeah,
So
I mean, I'm 34, so I mean, I've seen it. Like, I've always says Alex, like, well, how are you able to work so hard? Like, why do you? And it's like, well, why if I'm gonna do a job, why would I not do it to 110%? Like, why am I gonna sit there and not do it? And I've just obviously my parents raised me that way, but I've never been a one to be like, I'm not gonna do that job just because I could sit here and not do it. It's like I'd rather be getting the job done than just sitting there.
Yeah, we same way with our kids. We tell our kids, whatever you do it with excellence. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but you got to put your effort into it, right? You got to have pride in your work. So, speaking of which, I read something on social. The reason why we have a skilled labor shortage, and it's almost a generational thing. And this is more about maybe me and Andrew growing up, where the idea of us growing up was everyone was being pushed towards going to university because it was seen as an elitist kind of thing, and it was kind of frowned upon to go into trades. It seems like you were kind of the lowest of the lows kind of thing generationally. But now that we have all these white collar jobs that are slowly being replaced by AI, and there's lots of like layoffs happening, job shortages happening, it seems like there's a golden opportunity for trades, because as much as AI has advanced, you still can't replace, like it hasn't advanced to that point. So I think there will be a shift slowly back towards skilled trades. And my son is doing one of those, and me and Andrew were talking about this pre-recording. But I mean, that could be the case, right? Like Andrew's nodding his head. Yeah, it was seen at the time when you went into trade school. It means like you were a loser or you didn't do well in school and all that stuff. But now it's almost the other way now. It's like if you're going to trades, you're going to do well in life.
That's the thing, is like that's why I've always found people are always like, Alex, like you did so bad in high school. Like how did you get where you are? It's like, well, I just worked really hard, and instead of spending 6 years in school, I went and got a job as soon as I hit 18 and just worked my ass off. And that's where it doesn't. There is no, I don't think there is some perfect path, unless, hey, maybe you've landed in an Ivy League school and you become an amazing doctor or lawyer. But again, like the difference of someone becoming a tradesperson or being a teacher, I mean, you can make more money as a tradesman than actually a teacher. Maybe you have an easier life because you don't have to work summers and everything, but that's like...
There's also a perk being in the trades too. If you're really good at it, you actually get to teach eventually too.
That's very true. And that's where to me, it's my parents are very lucky that they never I was going to become an accountant. That was what I was going to go to for school, but it was never like forced down my throat. It's like, hey, you should try college, but hey, if it doesn't work out, there's other jobs out there. Like school, it was such a thing. I remember being a kid, like you have to go to high school, you have to go to college, you have to go to university. If you don't do that, you're not going to do well in life. And I do feel like that's finally changed.
Yes.
I'm an example of that. I'll tell you. Sorry to interrupt, Andrew. I'm an example of that. No. In high school, I was actually one of the nerdy kids. I going for straight A's and stuff like that.
Shaking his head.
Yeah. And so I went to university, college. I just somewhere along this line, I changed my career and decided I didn't want to do it anymore. And thinking back, I'm like, you know what? Unless you want to be a doctor, lawyer, accountant, anything that requires the schooling, I'm like, I'm sorry to put this out there, but man, school is a waste of time unless you
What?
go to trade school,
Well, you don't want to
right?
be an arts major, a history
Yeah.
major. Like, what do you mean
Oh
all these
man,
things? Like,
yeah, I have a kinesiology degree and I wanted to become a physiotherapist. Didn't get in because it was too hard. And then I got into sales and I'm like, shoot, they didn't teach you how to be a good, how to talk to people, how to negotiate a good deal, how to deal with difficult clients, how to relate to people, how to close a sale, all that stuff. I only learned that in life, like practice, school of hard knocks. And for those asking, like, you know what, school is good to a certain point, but real life and reality is
I
what will
actually
get you ahead.
saw something on social a long while ago. It's the school doesn't really teach you how to become a better person, but school does teach you how to actually solve problems more efficiently.
come on,
Right?
it teaches you to work together with people.
I'm not pro school or against school, but people who actually had the education would be able to actually solve problem more efficiently. However, if you're too much into school, like a buddy of mine who actually went through the trouble or the hassle of getting a doctorate degree in mechanical engineering. He's still unemployed.
Yeah, and still probably going to school. Always just going to school, getting another PhD and stuff. And yeah, that's just where
Yeah.
it's.
No, I don't know. We actually lost contact. My guess as where he ends up is probably a university professor.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
really happens with those things, and that's where like when what I used to do, Andrew, is called non-destructive testing. So I actually used to check welds and metals and everything. And I mean,
Yep.
I saw it. The teachers that were out there were teachers that couldn't actually do the inspection. They didn't know how to do it in the field, so they became a teacher. And I'm like, well, I remember asking a guy, I'm like, okay, like how can I size this defect? He's like, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like that's my job. And it's
Yep.
and so yeah, it's always a funny thing that way.
I heard a funny thing about school. School is designed really not to teach people to be good employees. They don't teach you how to be, like you said, good people. It doesn't teach you how to actually be a business owner. The reason why is because if they did that, we will be too smart. We'll rise up and overthrow the government or don't pay our taxes. If we are good workers, we'll pay our taxes. We have a good tax base and all that stuff. So I'm putting my tinfoil hat on, but that's
I
my take.
hope that's not. But I do agree. Like the one they don't like. Me and my wife was talking about today. Her car got hit in a storm yesterday. Someone's car opened, and she's like, "Well, what do I do with insurance?" I'm like, "Oh, well, you need to like go to the insurance place. You have the phone number. You're going to tell them to call their insurance." Like people don't even most people don't even know what to do in that scenario. Same thing with your taxes. Most people don't know how to file their taxes. They just think it kind of happens, and it's like not some of the stuff that school actually needs to teach. Hey, what happens if you use a credit card too much? Should you be using a credit card at 24% interest, or should you not be spending that money unless it's in your bank account? Like those are the things that I think should be talked about. And I mean,
Yes.
your tinfoil hat, like you said, Alex, like I don't know why that's not talked about in math. Is like, hey, if you use $200 and you're going to pay 24% in interest, you're going to have $40 coming. Like that doesn't get talked about. And I hope it's not because they want you to pay interest. I really hope.
No, but at my kid's school, because my wife is a accountant.
Yeah.
Okay, and at my kids' school, when they were grade 2, grade 3, the teacher actually invited my wife to go to their classes to talk about taxes. So that's a good sign.
Yeah,
to actually get started.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in university, back in the other days when Alex Pang go to school, or when I go to school, we never really learned anything about taxes. Never learned anything about overdraft. Never learned anything about exhausting all your credit limits. Never learned anything about
Yeah.
that other than after
Well,
after university.
Yeah. We did have some classes. We did take accounting 11 and we did have consumer ed, but it was all really theory based. There was no real life situation. Like they got to put you as a teenager, like, okay, you graduated, you have freedom, and this pretty girl is going to offer you a credit card for a t-shirt, right? To sign up for those credit cards and you get a t-shirt, you want to look cool in your friends. They got to teach you real life situations. Like all your friends are fixing up their cars and putting rims on it. Well, you don't have money, but this bank with this pretty girl is offering you a credit card with a $2,000 limit, and you can buy those rims right there and then. Those kind of life situations, right? Social pressures.
Never really thought about the consequences after you,
those kind of
you
things.
spend the money you don't have.
Exactly, and I think that would really benefit less theory, more practice, more real life situations. I think it would really benefit our society. Our talk has kind of gone off the rails, but Andrew, I did want to ask you something on a macro scale. We've talked about this before, like especially in the pre-sale industry in Vancouver and Toronto, it's going through a bloodbath right now. Like unless you're the big boys like Ani, Boza, Ledmac, Aquilina, whoever, we're hearing that a lot of these smaller developers or even small projects are getting canceled. Some are going belly up. What are you seeing from your friends and your colleagues?
A lot of a lot of the smaller scale developers are actually facing the same thing, forced by bank to actually sell.
Yeah.
Or some people call it foreclosure, but it's actually not really. But the bank is actually basically asking them to find a buyer. Prime example would be the one on Granville and Park. They actually did the foundation, the parkade, but it actually sat there for about a year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, probably about half a year ago, the sign says for sale by bank.
Yeah, and so
they couldn't I guess carry the holding cost anymore, or maybe they were too ambitious to thinking that they could actually get started on building, or they couldn't get the actual financing that they hope for, or they were just too ambitious in terms of putting the budget together. And then they realize, we need to increase the loan amount, right? And
yeah,
that could be a number of factors, but we don't know.
I'm hearing like just from anecdotal that this is an opportunity where all the big boys, the big billionaire families, it's an opportunity for them to snap up all the failed projects to bank on land.
I've already seen some medium-sized developers snatching up properties like those. For example, the one I was just talking about, it's actually on the southeast corner of Park and Gravel, and that was actually snatched up by Landa Developments.
No.
Which is actually a Chinese base.
That's what we've seen on like private lenders, like that would usually finance some of these like land development from the construction side. We've had a few that were kind of bigger ones that would lend out the 50 to 100 million. Well, they've actually stopped lending the money because they're like, hey, we're holding back because we're going to start buying stuff. And so they're not lending the money because they're just going to go buy it themselves.
Yeah, because right now the economics aren't great to build. They'll just hang on to it until conditions improve because they have the cash to hang on and essentially bleed out all the small players, right? So do you think maybe the industry is going to consolidate a little bit?
Well, I think so. Right now, there is an old saying, "Cash is king," and I think that's what's happening now. People with the biggest amount of cash are going to be winners because they are actually snatching up all these for sale by court order, for sales by bank, those properties.
Yeah. Well, they get to come to them and say, "Hey, you're bleeding. This is what I'll give you, and it can stop today."
Another developer that I know is actually this is actually a private lender. Okay, and the developer himself is actually a very very small scale.
Okay.
And he's been requesting or making the monthly draws. The bank is basically finding every excuses in the book not to give him the draw. For requests later, he's like, well, I know you're hurting. How about you fire your general contractor or your builder and hire me?
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, well, what do you mean? Hire me so I could actually build it for you more efficiently, so you're not going to go over budgets.
Yeah.
And your project is going to be delivered on schedule and within budgets. Oh, by the way, your budget is going to increase. We're going to lend you the extended amount. And by the way, your budget is going to increase by, I don't know, 20%, 30%.
But yeah, and that's, I mean, that guy's now he's getting the profits from managing it, and he's getting the profits from the financing.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
double
yes.
dipping.
So that's one of the cases I know.
Yeah.
But for others, it would be basically who has the most amount of cash to snatch up all these small developments. There is another one on 41st and Elm, also snatched up by Lenda. Right, and they are, from what I heard, Lenda is actually snatching up all these properties that are actually not viable for the existing developers.
No.
So are they, when they're being snatched up, are they going to continue development, or they're just going to hang on to it and
Well, the one on Park and Granville, that one is actually already that has already done the foundation or the parquet structure, so they are going to start building it. Having said that, the property exchange or the property title actually changed, probably for the last, I guess, since maybe 3 months ago. But there's still no construction activity as of yet.
there's a famous one during the heights of COVID that was, I think, was it offering it for $2,000 a square foot? It's the Oak Ridge by West
Oh, yeah.
Bank. Is that one of those ones that are like $2,000 for a local? Can't afford it.
I actually happen to know a friend who knows the owner of that development, and that developer is actually hurting very, very badly right
Oh yeah. Like my best friend's daughter used to work for West Bank, and when I was hearing winds of it, I'm like, you better not stay at that company. That company's kind of going downhill. And they were marketing.
West Bank actually started laying off people probably about a month ago, and that was actually on the news, I think. And but the developer actually is not really West Bank at Oak Ridge. The actual owner is actually from China as well, and he's hurting big time. And because when they first started, they actually I think if I heard that correctly, the owner wanted to hire one general contractor. But now I think there are 4 to 5 different general contractors working on different buildings.
Yeah, that was, you know what?
I'm not too sure if it's true or not, because I've never really got involved, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, we knew at the time it was not going to end well because they were marketing it for $2,000 a square foot, way above what any local could afford, and it was purely meant for foreign buyers to park their money.
4 or 5 years ago, Ani South Oak Ridge was actually offering pre-sale at about 1,800 square feet, $1,800 a square feet. Right, and there was a developer on our East Boulevard, which is the south portion of the Arbutus, and they were offering about $1,700 a square foot, and that was back in 2019. Right?
Has prices come back down to that level yet, or is it still pretty high, you would say?
Well, I don't know. Not really, actually. I think. A developer that I know is actually doing pre-sale, and they are doing for a stacked townhouse actually, and the average sale price is about $1,600 a square foot, and that's also near Oak Ridge. So pricing coming down, probably not. Mainly because the land cost is actually quite high, and the borrowing cost is high. The labor rates are high. The general contracting is high. So, in order to make money, they can't.
Yeah. The only problem is there's not that many buyers out there, so these properties are going to sit for a while.
But honestly, the developer that I know that is actually doing the stacked townhouse, that one actually is actually selling quite well.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, I think the stacked townhouses, like the duplex, it's the condos, it's the 400 square foot condos that everyone's like, I can't live in this. I can't raise a family. There's no investors to live here, so all right.
And you can't Airbnb it anymore because the government
Nope.
put a stop to that.
Yeah, but a guy that I used to hire as a handyman had five or six people living in a 600 square foot apartment.
Jesus.
Are they foreign students or what was it?
No. It's a legit Canadian. Well, actually, to say Chinese-born Canadian, and husband and wife. They're all legit, with 3 kids or 4 kids, and they're in a 600 square foot apartment.
Hats off to them.
I've never been into their homes, so I don't know how they actually allocate.
They haven't invited you guys all over for a family dinner and try and bring people over.
No.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's doable if you're on vacation in a hotel room to save money, but
Yes.
on an everyday basis, I guess that's a really sad symptom of housing affordability in our part of the world, in Greater Vancouver. And yeah, like we're gonna wrap this up soon, but Andrew, do you have any other stories you want to share, or any other things? Like, where do you see our industry going? Like, do you see any signs of improving, or what do you think is going to change?
Well, to be honest, coming from a developer's perspective, they're out there to make money. For any business, they're basically starting that business with a goal to make money. So, having said that, the housing prices is never going to come down. Just to be blunt, okay. However, there are alternatives. For example, my sister, who used to actually live in a townhouse in Burnaby, near Vancouver, near Boundary, and because she wants to actually upsize to a bigger living space. So she actually moved to Coquitlam for a increase of, I guess, 500 square feet or 700 square feet as an overall living space. But the price she pays is longer commute.
Yeah.
Right. But we're in the era where land is actually land comes with a premium, or home ownership comes with a premium, and that's it. To me, I think that's inevitable.
Yeah, I'm on Vancouver Island there, Andrew, and I mean it's now people are realizing like, oh wow, what's what you have on Vancouver Island? I mean, our prices compared to Vancouver are well low, and that's where I mean our prices are just going up. because again,
Hmm.
what are you buying for where you live? And I mean,
Yes.
it is hard for people, obviously, the people that grew up here that now are just working, say, at Walmart, Superstore. I mean, they can't buy homes. 30 years ago, you could work at Safeway, you could be a delivery driver, and you could buy a house. Like that's like kind of
Yes.
the status thing is like,
Well, get this. Just a little history lesson too. I mentioned that I came here in '92.
yeah,
My dad actually came here in '91 to actually bought a house.
yeah,
Okay, and at that time on Fraser and right actually right next to our high school, and it was actually we bought it for $260,000.
I mean, that would have been a lot of money back then.
That was a lot of money
Well,
back then.
yes and no. At that time, the I think the minimum wage was still at $7 an hour.
Yeah.
So $260,000 is actually not much
No, then I mean that
if you look at
yeah,
it that way.
and that's the biggest difference. Like when the older population, we're going to say they're older than you guys, complain saying, "Well, I had 18% interest rate." I mean, I always go back to I'll buy at 18% interest rate every day if I could have a home at 200,000 again. Like that's
Exactly.
not a question.
Exactly.
And that
Yeah, because back then the mortgage rate at the bank was something like 13 or 14.
yeah, but it's the amount.
But people are still able to actually buy homes.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
like let's pretend like let's say 7 times 8 times 52. Oh, 7 times 8 times 40. I mean, they're still making at that case, they're still making like 50,000, like just under like $40,000 a year. So I mean, at 200,
Essentially, if you don't spend a dime, you could actually buy
5
a
years.
house in 5 years.
Exactly. And that's where that's the major difference now. It's like
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now, the same house my dad is still living in,
2.5
is
million,
now,
right?
assessed at 2.2 or 2.3.
Yeah. So almost 10 times. But minimum
Exactly.
wage is not $60 an hour.
No.
It's only gone up
Exactly.
2.5 times, maybe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Exactly. And
that's just a
what
symptom
we were
of.
talking about with one of my buddies, because right now, I'm actually going in the anti-government mode now. Going from $6 or $7 an hour to now 17. We're only 2.5, not even 2.5 times. But the housing cost has gone up 10 times.
10 times.
Right?
Well,
that's
admit.
that's where it went wrong.
Yeah. Because
How
10.
it went wrong,
Yeah.
nobody really know.
Well, we know 10 years ago, foreign capital came in. And and housing prices detached from incomes. I'm sure it happened long before then, but it really separated at that point.
Well, I can tell you when the boom actually started. It was actually 2006 or 2007,
Yeah.
right? And that's when the boom actually started.
Yeah.
Just about a year, maybe 2 years after I actually 2 maybe 3 years after I started in the constructing industry.
Well, and then that's when global financial crisis happened, right? With Lehman
Exactly.
Brothers,
2008.
yeah, Freddie Mac.
2008.
Yep.
I saw the news while I was actually in the NTMRT in Hong Kong, thinking to myself, when I come back, am I going to have a job? At that time. Okay, but I guess I survived at that on that job because I was actually working for ITC, and then became a residential builder, and here I am, right? But still, going back to what you were saying, foreign capitals, yes and no. It does have the I don't know if I should say potential to be blamed, but it does have some factor in it. But I have to say it's not just foreign people who are actually building, because the people that I used to work with when I was actually in concrete forming, they are building houses in Powell River, Sunshine Coast, and those people are actually just locals,
That's
right?
great.
Even in Courtney, I think those people are actually locals,
Yeah.
right? So it's not really. Yes, in Lower Mainland, maybe foreign capitals.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, it's in Vancouver and on like Vancouver and Toronto. That's where like the money really exploded. It's now starting to spread out because the people that have made money from Vancouver are like, oh, I can buy on Vancouver Island. I can sell my $2.3 million house. I can buy a damn mansion on the ocean for 1.5 million and be debt free. And that's like
Same thing, yeah. Kelowna, all the outskirts of the GTA and all that stuff, and it even circled into Calgary as well.
Well, I could tell you where the hotspot is now.
Where is the hot spot?
Prince Rupert.
Prince
Rupert,
Rupert,
that's
okay.
well, I'll tell you this. I used to do a lot of work there, Andrew. I'm not moving up there.
No, me neither. Me
It
neither.
is what-
I've actually had a few approach already. Few people approached me to actually manage projects in Prince Rupert,
Yeah.
and I'm like, do I need to be there full time?
Can I do it?
Something,
Can I do it from a webcam?
Exactly. I said, do I need to be there? And they're like, yes, you obviously you have to be there. Is it a full time? Yes. Okay. Thank you for your time.
You know what? We actually mentioned this about a month ago, where Prince Rupert and Northern BC is trying to attract talent because I'm like, okay, we're skilled shortage, but then we've been talking about young people have a hard time finding jobs. It's like, it's like a 17-18% unemployment rate. I'm like, Prince Rupert, you need to do some marketing and attract the young people to come to there to work. And there you go.
It's a port city, right?
Yeah,
Prince Rupert is a port city.
Yeah, and it's a one resource
People
town.
who are actually, and people who are actually making money are actually in the resources or at the port.
That's
Or the service sector.
Yeah, the port's the biggest thing.
So-
Bring your
so-
fishermen.
The locals are actually not going to be able to afford buying a house.
Yeah.
But going back to history again, 96, my sister got into UNBC, University of Northern BC. So my dad took his caravan full of her stuff, took her up to Prince George. And on the way back, he took the ferry and came back. So he actually had a little nice road trip without the kids, us, okay. And came back, and he was so excited. And he's like, "Well, I do you know how much a house with a lot there is?" And I was like, "How much?" 80
$80,000. My goodness.
in 96. Okay, my sister actually graduated in, I guess, 96, so 2000 or 2000, year 2000. My dad took the caravan back up to pick her up and along with her stuff, and he was like, do you know how much that same house is now? And I'm like, don't know. $400,000.
Oh my goodness.
4 years. $400,000. And now
things are
single houses there, and they're sitting at, I don't know, 700 or 800 now.
Yep, I believe it.
Right.
Well, Andrew,
Again,
yeah. Well,
ahead.
Andrew, this has been great. We've taken way too much of your time. Where can people find you if they're looking to build their home, or do you do laneway homes too, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
Yes.
all things building with real estate, where can people find you?
I've got a website. It's www.fairlands-group.com. You could call me, you could email me. The contact information is all on that website. You could actually look at the past projects that I've done in the form of Facebook photos. I've got WeChat, I've got WhatsApp, Line, however instant messages you could think of. I pretty much have them all. Yeah. So feel free to contact me.
We find you on
If
TikTok,
I,
Andrew. Is that's the big question? If
no,
we find you on TikTok.
no, I'm actually not much of a social media person. I have a, TikTok account, but there is no content
No content.
as of yet. As of yet. So
Sounds good. This has been great, Andrew. Thanks so much for coming on. It was a great discussion. We'll have you back down the line.
sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot for
All right,
coming,
folks.
Andrew.
Thanks for coming. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time.
Now, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure to follow us. Please give us a 5-star rating. You can even send us an email because we want to know what you guys want to hear about. That's what we're here for. Reach out anytime.